Take a deep breath in. And as you breathe in a resourceful feeling of relaxation. And as you exhale, just allow feelings of any worry, stress, anxiety to leave your body in your outward breath. Meaning that just by breathing in and slowly breathing out, you're able to access a state of deep relaxation, calmness, and discover a feeling of inner peace. Notice that with your eyes closed, you're able to give more of your attention, your focus, to the sound of my voice. And I want you to notice that when you focus inwards onto those things that only you know, you leave the outside world and you go inwards into an inner world. No one else knows how fast or slow you're breathing. No one can know when you hold that breath and then release it. As you feel like tension is leaving your body, you notice other things too. A calmness, a peacefulness. As your breathing slows down even more, feeling more of that tension leave your body, and breathing in a wonderful feeling of resourcefulness. I want you to get a sense that you're becoming even more connected. Connected with the part of you that is responsible for change. Powerful change. There's been times in your life that you felt one way, and then later in life you felt something else, even if it was the same environment. Therefore, change isn't just possible, it's inevitable. And one of the most powerful changes you can make is the emotions you access when you choose to access them. Many people are wandering through lives, triggered by things they don't understand. Someone's rude to them, they get angry. They hear a song they like, they feel happy. Living lives in a constant state of being triggered and reacted by those things outside of them. But I wonder how useful it would be to create useful, powerful, emotional states simply because you choose that that's what you want to feel. And what if we could train your brain to link those emotions to other choices that you make, like the clothes you wear, or the fragrance you spray on yourself, perhaps before leaving a home. And for the sake of creating a model of change, let's use your imagination to imagine that you are in a bedroom of a luxurious mansion. And I want you to imagine that somewhere in this bedroom is a walk-in wardrobe. a large walk-in wardrobe, the equivalent of a reasonable sized bedroom, filled with full-length mirrors. But interestingly, the clothes in this walk-in wardrobe are clothes that you already have access to. Maybe the fragrances that are there on a cabinet or in a drawer are the same fragrances you already have access to. The rack of shoes are your shoes. But there's something powerful about this walk-in wardrobe. It has the ability for you to link emotions of the past to the clothes you have in the present. I want you to imagine standing in front of a full-length mirror, there in that walk-in wardrobe. And I wonder what would happen if you thought back to a time when you felt fearless. Maybe it was a long time ago, maybe it was recently. But as you look at yourself in the mirror, I want you to reconnect with a time in your life when you felt fearless. And I want you to see what you were doing back then when you were fearless. You did something that would normally create fear, and yet it didn't in this case. And see yourself with the absence of fear. See your posture. See how you were walking, how you were breathing. And then I want you to make one change. I want you to see yourself back then as you were, but wearing a specific combination of clothes that you now have access to. And I want you to imagine seeing that version of you that was fearless, wearing those clothes that you now have. Decide on the shoes, the trousers, the top, any accessories. And I want you to see yourself spraying a fragrance on. And from this point forward, this particular combination will link to a feeling of fearlessness. I want you to rewind that point in time when you felt fearless. And then I want you to imagine that you're now inside that version of you back in the past, but feeling fearless. Notice where in your body you felt it. How you were breathing, how your body language was. Tap into this wonderful feeling of fearlessness. And look down and see the shoes you're wearing, the clothes you're wearing. And feel how good it feels to feel fearless while wearing these clothes. And I want you to do something physical in this moment that you would be able to do while wearing these clothes. Maybe it's feeling the texture of fabric somewhere in your body. Maybe it's a particular posture that you can do at any time, but imagine doing it while wearing these clothes. Feel what it feels like to feel fearless. And then imagine you're still in your body wearing those clothes, but now standing there in your walk-in wardrobe at a full-length mirror, seeing yourself wearing those same clothes that you have access to, but feeling fearless. And then teleport you to your normal home, wearing those clothes, as you accept the suggestion that whenever you wear these clothes from this point forward, you will access a state of fearlessness, and you will have a desire to do something wearing these clothes that would require fearlessness, to strengthen the powerful association between these clothes and that feeling. Then I want you to imagine a time where you're back in that walk-in wardrobe staring at yourself in a mirror, but this time imagine someone that you consider to have the quality of audacity, someone with such self-belief, self-confidence, that they believe in themselves and their ability to do things that they've never done before, willing to bet on themselves, willing to do what hasn't been done, to pursue anything with an expectation that it will just go to plan. I want you to observe that person, and wherever they would be with this particular characteristic of audacity, then I want you to rewind it and play them again being audacious, but this time they're wearing a different combination of your clothes. They still have that audacity, but that audacity is now linked to certain things on your feet, on your legs, on your body. This combination of clothes is a combination lock to the resourceful state of audacity. And when you see this person filled with this feeling of audacity while wearing your clothes, I want you to accept the suggestion that the feeling of audacity is being linked to the clothes, and the clothes will link to the emotion. Rewind it again and now go into that person's experience, the person brimming with audacity, feeling audacious, looking down and seeing that you're wearing your clothes, a particular combination of clothes, but feeling that feeling of absolute inner belief, self-confidence. Beyond confidence, this is confidence amplified. There is nothing you don't think you can do with this feeling of audacity. And then I want you to imagine you're back in that walk-in wardrobe, seeing yourself in a full-length mirror, but seeing the expression of audacity on your face, the posture of audacity. Link it to the clothes, a fragrance, the footwear, and then make a particular move or posture that again links to a feeling of audacity. Maybe it's chin up, shoulders back, a particular look in your eye where you don't even doubt yourself. Such inner conviction and belief, a powerful sense of audacity. And I want you to imagine a point in the future, maybe just a few days, a week in the future, where you will want this feeling of audacity. And I want you to imagine that you're putting on these clothes, this combination, and as you do so, the clothes themselves make you feel not just confident, but more than confident. That you can believe in yourself like never before. That the clothes themselves are a trigger, an anchor for a powerful feeling of audacity. And the next time you do this, you will have a desire to do something that requires audacity. that will recharge the link between emotion and the clothes you're wearing. And the more you do it, the more these clothes will create that feeling. I want you to move yourself back into that imaginary walk-in wardrobe and think of a resource that may be useful for you now. Maybe it's courage. Maybe it's creativity. Maybe it's the resource of calmness and tranquility. It doesn't matter what the resource is. What matters is thinking about a time that either you or someone you know had that quality at an intense level. As you drift off into your imagination, imagine either you or yourself or someone with that quality, and see them with whatever quality you desire most, whatever characteristic, whatever resource you need most. And then watch that again, but this time they're wearing a particular combination of clothes that you know that you own. Not the same clothes that are linked to fearlessness or audacity, a different combination of clothes. See them with that quality, then rewind it and step into either you or someone else that has that quality that you desire, while looking down and seeing yourself wearing a particular combination of clothes, perhaps a new fragrance. And all of these things are powerful anchors that will link into this feeling, so that the next time you wear this combination of clothes, it will access this particular emotional resource or quality or characteristic. Imagine you're back there wearing those clothes in your walk-in wardrobe, seeing your reflection in a full-length mirror, but seeing that quality you desire in your facial expressions, your posture, as you look at yourself in the reflection. I want you to get a sense that this is a useful, resourceful state in certain circumstances. And you will have a desire to wear these clothes when you need this resource. Make a different posture, facial expression, or even a physical sensation. A clenched fist for strength, maybe. Maybe a slow outward breath for calm. For courage, imagine the posture of a superhero and adopt that posture. From this point forward, the combination of these clothes, that posture, perhaps a smell that's around in the air, will trigger this emotional state, a useful emotional state, and then think of the next time that you might need to use this emotional state. In your own environment, imagine wearing your own clothes, but this combination of clothes. And as you do so, reactivate that feeling, that quality, whatever it was. Feel like you're feeling it now, with an intention to use it in a useful way in your life. And then imagine you're back in your home. It's at some point in the future. Maybe one day you want to feel fearless. So imagine getting dressed in that particular combination of clothes that created that feeling. Maybe it's a day when you want to feel not just confident but audacious, brimming with audacity. And then imagine wearing that combination of clothes, looking at yourself in the mirror having a particular posture, the one that triggers this feeling of audacity, and feel like you feel it within you. And then imagine doing something that would need audacity to be done well. I want you to accept the suggestion that emotions can be linked to things. Perhaps you can imagine an old family heirloom, something that had sentimental value. That the thing itself isn't what's important, but it's the emotions attached to the thing that is what gives it value and power. And if that can happen with an old necklace, an old watch, an old photo, then of course it could happen with clothes, with shoes, with a fragrance. Sometimes in sports tournaments, a player might get superstitious, feeling like an item of clothing is now linked to that feeling of victory. So they wear the same item, not even washing it, again and again, each time reinforcing this belief that the thing itself is somehow linked to an emotion, a resource, or a quality. It could be even luck, confidence, self-belief. And that same way of thinking, you are now thinking about all those clothes, thinking of them as ingredients to access emotions that can create new feelings of powerful confidence, courage, fearlessness, and any other emotion that might be useful for you. But you're also unlocking a feeling of creativity and open-mindedness, a willingness to test it until you get the right combinations that work well for you. Feel like you're returning to the present, but taking these ideas, these ways of thinking with you. Take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, get a sense that you're returning back into your body fully present, with a desire to perhaps wear some clothes linked to an emotion that open doorways of possibility into your life, starting to count to awaken you. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake.